Hey guys, this is Caspi with Tape, and today you join me for episode 16 of A New World, and we start off launching the biggest rocket we've launched so far. This is my most powerful rocket, and I didn't really think about it that well, so I didn't actually throttle down those solid rocket boosters, so I'm not even using the main engine, and it is accelerating me too fast, and I'm very stable in the atmosphere, so I have serious troubles tipping over, as you can see here, although that took about 10 seconds, because I sped it up, but it was really quick. You can see my mission time is pretty low right now. But, yeah, that was a pretty quick launch because of those crazy boosters, but that is because this rocket is carrying a very special payload, a payload bound for a heliosynchronous orbit, which means getting down very close to the sun, or Kerbal. I had someone tell me I named Kerbal Wars wrong because it's Kerbal. No, Kerbal is the name of the star. But yeah, I knew that was going to happen though. The second I named it Kerbal Wars, I was like, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, the big rocket is carrying a rather big payload, and this, before I say anything, this stage separation is my favorite stage separation I've ever done. Watch this. Oh god, at 1x time accelerator I should have slowed it down, but it does look awesome when you spin away stages. But anyway, ditch those fairings and you can see the payload, and this is bound for a heliosynchronous orbit, and some of you may be thinking, some of the more experienced will be thinking, but Peter, that can't have enough delta V. I mean, that's not a nuclear engine. That can't have enough delta V for a heliocentric orbit. I'm going to do a bunch of stupid bullshit gravity slings, basically. I'm going to sling myself off Eve and then Moho and then, you know. So I'm going to leave it in space for quite a while, because I actually didn't even look at the transfer window, just because I know I'm going to have to dick around so much, that I'm just basically going to do it when it comes. So yeah, that will be in the future. I'll be doing some awesome gravity maneuvers, so maybe you'll learn something about it. It is possible in Kerbal Space Program, especially with Eve, because it has very high gravity. You can pull yourself, or, well, you can use it to gravity slingshot yourself. So I'll be going retrograde around Eve, and then hopefully around Moho for a little extra kick, and probably twice around Moho, maybe even twice around Eve. I haven't really planned out the maneuver yet, but it will be my most planned maneuver. But anyway, now on to the bulk of this episode. This is actually one of the better launches I've done. It is quite a nice gravity turn using Ferrum Aerospace, of course. I am still on 0.90 actually, as I tried updating it to 1.0 today, but there are a few problems. All the mods are there, and when I do, I'll probably do a mod list because I have a better idea. I will do a mod list at some point. I know I keep telling people I'm going to do a mod list, and I never do, but I will. That'll be sometime, maybe Friday. But no, don't say that. I'll do it when I've updated it to 1.0. But yeah, I've got a few problems still. Mainly KW rocketry. Is just being kind of a dick, but yeah, and also deadly entry because it's no longer needed and they've changed a few things, but yeah, it's going to take a little work, but I'll have it transferred over at some point, and if I don't, oh well. But I really do want it to transfer over to 1.0. But yeah, this is another Horizon spacecraft, pretty much the same as my last mission to Minmus, but the mission is very different. The mission is very important. This is taking temperature scans, and there are 4 objectives. I think I have enough fuel to do 2 or 3. And I was going to do this in 2 missions. Well, I'm planning on doing this in 2 missions so that I can, you know, pick up 2 and then grab the other 2 on the way back, because there is definitely enough money in the budget of this mission for 2 missions. I've forgotten exactly how much, but it'll cover it with some nice profit. But there are these Horizon spacecraft are actually really good, because on other spacecraft that have a single stage down and then a single stage and then same stage going back to orbit, you never quite know how much fuel to leave yourself. But this, I can use all the fuel in that landing stage, all of it, and I can then still know I have enough fuel to get back. But anyway, I did skip through my maneuver planning because it did take me a while, because I'm actually not in a very good position relative to like doing these inclination changes. So yeah, it took me a long time to plan, which you may have noticed that I skipped over, just because I really didn't want to be spending too much fuel, because I really do need it for these maneuvers, because I've got to do at least 2 landings. And because it's temperature scans, it means I have to fly the spacecraft around. But yeah, as I said, I mean, it is much nicer having a whole stage you can just burn all the fuel out of, not have to worry, and then have another stage just to take you back to orbit. That's just pretty good. But anyway, yeah, it's time to do our inclination change and slight prograde burn, actually, to put ourselves on the right path. However, I kind of screwed it up a bit, so it did probably spend a few more meters a second delta V, but nothing major. But anyway, we're going to fly over the poles first, because we actually have to get that temperature scan from, like, I think below 8 kilometers or something, or below 6 kilometers. So I'm going to put myself on a kind of eccentric orbit, I think that is the word I'm going for. Yeah, eccentric orbit, so that I can, I can just grab the temperature scan from below there, And then I'll probably need to make some inclination, well, I will need to make some inclination changes to go and pick up another one of these reports. So I'm going to leave myself in an elliptical orbit. So yeah, I think I did, oh no, I didn't pass through it at the right altitude just then, but I did pass through it. But anyway, putting myself in an orbit. But now I'm seeing that two of the scans are actually right next to each other. So it'll probably just be a small jump. So I'm thinking I can get 3 of these missions done at this point, and then come back for the last one, which isn't basically the same as picking 2 at a time, but does make the next mission slightly easier. I do have my most experienced pilot on board, Milbury Kerbin, because as we know, we've lost the big 3, which I'm still mourning over. But they have a flag at the space center, and it's nice to look through all the cool names rather than just this is Jeb as per usual. But anyway, now it's a matter of putting myself on the... Oh no, I just need to fly through this. I thought I was landing, of course I'm not. But yeah, there we go. We got a temperature scan low down. I just left it sped up. You can see what's going on. And this was one of the weirdest shots I've ever actually got from KSP. It's because I was flying very laterally off a planetary body. So it kind of looks like an asteroid. Well, you didn't really get the same feeling there, but moving laterally across, it was really weird. It looked like it didn't look like I was orbiting a planet at that point. It looked like I was just moving really fast sideways, which of course I was, but I don't know, it just looked really weird there. I don't know if it was very well, described by 4 times time accelerate, but still it looked really weird. I'm not sure how well I can explain it, but still. But anyway, now we need to land here and take a couple of temperature scans, and if we have fuel, maybe even drop down and pick up the 4th one, but I'm not sure. I mean, depends how good I am at landing. Although this is Minmus, so you don't have to expend that much fuel. But yeah, let's just put ourselves on the right path. And I do always spend way too much fuel landing because I'm always changing my path and trying to get everything right. And I don't know, I'm just dumb like that. But yeah, it looks like oh yeah, inclination change there, which was a little fuel costly, but I have tons of fuel. This is my landing stage. That's the point. It has tons of fuel, and this is actually this is moon grade landing gear. So well, moon grade landing hardware, so it can do Minmus really easily. You have so much extra fuel, but with the moon it's a little harder, and you do have to burn much earlier, as you probably saw on episode 13. Oh my god! Where Bill and Jeb and Bob got trapped on the moon, and we were all very sad because they never left the moon. Yeah, it sucked. But anyway, let's land this, and I will slow it down to 1 times time accelerator because I was quite proud of this landing. I was all worried because I was landing on a slope. However, the thing to do is just keep your engines on until all 4 landing gear are down, which often is a mistake people make. They kind of land, the second they touch 1 landing gear down, they just like, oh, that's done, and then they fall over. But yeah, if you can just see, keep the engine on and we'll slowly touch down, and there we go. Nice landing. Which is good, because I wouldn't want to lose this spacecraft. It's very expensive, and there's 3 very good Kerbals on board. Actually, there is a rookie on board. I believe Ronnie Kerman is a bit of a rookie, but he's got a cool name, so it doesn't matter. But Milbury is a freaking baller. Anyway, I'm going to lock the suspension in this leg, just to make sure it doesn't tip over, because if it falls and compresses that leg, it might just fall all the way over and break my solar panels, or maybe just get stuck, which is would be rather terrible. And there isn't a lot of torque in this spacecraft, because why bother? That's just extra weight. But yeah, so it would be probably stuck, or at least I'd have to grind it along the floor. But anyway, let's get, I believe, Milbury out for a nice tumble. That's one of the annoying things. I didn't put proper ladders on this. I really do want to put proper ladders. I like having full-on ladders. Now what am I looking for? Oh yeah, I was making sure I still have pilots on board. Oh, no, neither of them were rookies. They all have some experience. That's good. But anyway, Milbury, you've got to plant a flag. Plant a flag explaining what we're doing here. Although not really explaining. I think I just put the name of the spacecraft. Because that's much easier. I never come up. I rarely come up with like really awesome speech things. I would be the most boring person. And the thing is here, I realized just then that I landed in just outside of the area that I'm supposed to land in. And I didn't realize at the time, but I was actually like 10 steps away from the right area. I was just planning on putting this down and then jumping over, like I thought it maybe be like a kilometer jump, but I was literally like 20 steps away from the area I was supposed to land. So that's pretty good. I'm proud of that. That was close. And this is a slopes landing, because obviously this is the slopes. Yeah, that was crazy. I was all like, what? Yeah, I didn't expect to land so close to the area, but not quite in it. It was a bit of a slap in the face. But yeah, and then Horizon 5, which is the spacecraft. 5 Horizon missions. 3 of the Horizon missions, though, were on one, like, mission trying to save these guys. But anyway, skipping ahead a little, I just need to move very slightly this way. I've left Milbury out of the spacecraft because he's just surveying. Not the spacecraft, he's looking the exact opposite way. And look, now, after that tiny jump, I'm entering area Q81. However, I've kind of screwed this up a bit, and I need to just make sure that, I need to jump again, because I landed rather terribly there. I was even tense just then, even though I know how this ends. But yeah, as you can see, my flight wasn't very good, because I was... Well, I like making slightly bigger jumps just because it's easier, because you get some more time looking at the nav ball, rather than as I did just then where I almost fell over because I wasn't really burning the right way. It's just a complicated thing to do. Sometimes I can make pretty good maneuvers on the ground, but it is just a bit of a... Well, it's a difficult thing to do, even for a veteran like me. No, of course, I'm not a veteran. Well, no, I don't know, I've been playing this for a few years. I consider myself reasonably good. Fuck it, I'm a veteran. No modesty! Annoyingly, we are running out of electric charge, so I'm probably going to have to wait till daytime to make my next jump. But I do have enough fuel to go up to at least the top of the slope and grab some reports. But yeah, you can see I got the Monet there, did the mission. And then I'm just skipping through all this, just showing you where I got all the rest of the science, because more science, more problems. Yeah. Using that again. Anyway, but yeah, lots of science. Science is good. And then anyway, we need to get Milbury back in because we have a little bit of a jump to do. A jump to the top of the slope to get the other report from the surface. And then I have a 4th report I might be able to get. I'm thinking I am going to be able to. But yeah, anyway, I'll just speed through this because it was a little, not a long flight, but enough time to warrant me speeding through it just to save a little video time, because it, well, this mission took me a while, but I did really enjoy it. This felt like some proper KSPing, jumping around a planet on my epic lander and getting all the science and looking at rather nice things and getting confused by how it looks when I fly laterally off a planet. Well, not a planet, a planetary body. It just made me feel like I was on like an asteroid or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, let's just touch down again. I'm landing on a slope again, so I just do a similar thing, although I don't do it quite as well. But I've left that suspension locked so that it won't fall over. But yeah, you can see in 1x time accelerate again, I do my standard gentle touchdown. You get contact with one leg and then just let yourself fall. I think I might actually just shut off the engine at this point because the torque was actually enough to hold it in place. What is going on here? Oh yeah, I think the torque was literally just holding it in place. But anyway, yeah, so that was actually a less steeper slope, so I didn't fall down it so much. But yeah, anyway, we'll just get our... Oh yeah, I need to get all the science out. I was really surprised by that jump cut for some reason, even though I just did it. But yeah, I need to get all the science out of the materials bays and things, just so that I can... Well, I need to get it out of the temperature, the thermometer mainly, so that I can take another scan and not overwrite my current scan, just because, well, I didn't want to lose the science, even though I'm getting a lot of science from this mission. But you can never have too much science, unless you create like unless the final product of science, which gives us like a unifying equation, and the meaning of life is so depressing that no one wants to do anything. Because then science should stop. It should stop just before we realize how just pointless everything is. Anyway, I don't care about the truth, I care about the lie. The lie makes me feel good. But anyway, yeah, we got that as well. So that's our 3rd objective, but this got weirdly philosophical, didn't it? No, I need to get my 4th report now, because I want to get it. I have tons of fuel, and I just need to make a flight, and I don't have to land. I just have to fly, like, past the bit in the air, so I can, well, not the air, in the, Minmus void. So yeah, I'm just going to take off, and I'm going to fly towards it. I think I have to be above 48 kilometers or something. But yeah, again, a slightly long flight, so I skipped through it. Well, I'm not just going to skip through it, I'm going to speed through it, so you can see what I did. I kept my altitude low, because I was still a little worried about fuel. But given that I don't have to land, it's not too much of a problem, because even if I run out of fuel, I can just detach and then go into orbit. So we're pretty safe at this point. I didn't jeopardize didn't jeopardize the lives of my Kerbals. I'll never do that again. Not after what I learned with the big 3. We lost their orange suits. That's like losing freaking yellow shirt, the fucking gold shirts in Star Trek. You lose your gold shirts and your blue shirts, and no one gives a goddamn fuck about red shirts. But I lost the blue shirts, man, and the gold shirts. Those people who've never seen Star Trek are like, what the fuck is he talking about? But anyway, yeah, I'm apparently entering the zone, but I can't seem to get the science. I can't seem to get the temperature scans. I'm getting rather confused, and I'm making sure I don't hit that hill as well. But yeah, what I didn't realize at this point was I was below I need to be above 4,800 meters, not below. So yeah, what I did now was just burned upwards really fast. After a lot of time screwing up, I just burned out all my fuel basically, so that I get above 4,800 meters or 4,600 meters or whatever it is, so that I can get the temperature scan, because I was below it, and I was like, why isn't this working? Which drove me near to insanity. Anyway, let's grab ourselves our temperature record, I guess, temperature scan. But yeah, looks like we got all our money and our science in one mission as well. This is a damn good spacecraft, and these are damn good pilots. I'm a damn good pilot. I'm perfect. Anyway, let's get a little more science. At first I was like, I don't need that, and then I was like, wait, I have almost 300 science. I do need that, not realizing that I haven't actually cashed in all the science in my pod. So I risked Ronnie's life right now. I'm like, you go get the science. We're not falling back to Minmus yet. So I do get him out, and then about when I'm on the other side of the spacecraft, I'm like, wait a minute, I have loads of science in the pod. I don't even need this 13 science. And then I'm like, okay, get the science and run back to the spacecraft. Yeah, then I just give up on that one, because I'm not losing, because I'm pretty sure I'm starting to fall now. Oh, no, I'm not. Well, I wasn't looking at the altimeter at this point. I was just panicking and trying not to die. So yeah, I got back into my spacecraft. Well, Ronnie got back into his spacecraft. I was just watching from another universe. Although I guess his universe exists within my computer. Weird concept. Anyway, let's detach this landing stage, since it is dead and useless to me now. And ignite our ascent engine. And we are already quite high in the... Well, we're already 6 kilometers up, so we actually have a bit of an advantage. Although we do have to make a bit of a inclination change, so we probably lose the extra fuel there. But anyway, still, we can just fly ourselves into orbit. I do very much like this lander. I do like two-stage landers. As much as... they seem kind of unadvanced, because, you know, you're bringing 2 stages to land on one planet, and they're not very good for, like, I guess being reusable. You couldn't keep one really at a station and then keep flying it to the surface and back, because, well, you need 2 stages. I do like them for missions like this, where it's a bit of a testing what you need to do. It's a bit of a testing ground, and they are very good for missions like this, where you don't really know how much fuel you're going to use. So, yeah, they're just a nice solution to these sort of problems. But anyway, let's fly ourselves home. Just a quick burn. I've got tons of Delta V, so it doesn't really matter. I reckon I could probably swing around the moon at this point. I could probably land on Minmus with the... Oh no, I don't think there's actually that much fuel in this ascent stage. Yeah, you can see I've burned like half of it at this point. But yeah, it has... Probably on a... If I hadn't already been in the about 6 kilometers up, it has just about enough fuel to get home. I think it has just about enough to get home from Minmus, from the moon even, and then probably a little more than it needs to get home from Minmus, just because Minmus has much lower gravity. I love this mess of satellites I have here, because they're not in... Hardly any of them are in circular orbits, because the game's weird like that. It never asked me to put things in circular orbits. It just looks like a mess of satellites. It looks like if a kid designed like a satellite network. But anyway, let's head back to the surface of Kerbin now. Get rid of our service module. We don't need that. And then just descend. And I actually, during this descent, I got a little worried about temperature, because I mean, I'm coming in pretty fast, although it's Minmus. I'm not going to burn up. But yeah, I've done this like probably about 50 times with deadly reentry, and I still get nervous that I'm going to burn up. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for... I hope the deadly reentry heat shields are compatible with just normal heating in 1.0, so that I don't have to replace loads of parts. It'll just make it loads easier. But anyway, let's descend ourselves. Just set up all the parachutes. I don't know why they set themselves up in such a way. By default, they set themselves to like deploy at 2,300 kilometers and then deploy to semi-deploy at like really low altitudes. It's really dumb. I don't know. It's annoying. But anyway, let's just land ourselves on the ocean. Nice and softly. Although 7 meters a second actually sounds kind of high if you actually think about how fast that is. But anyway, we land and get a bunch of stuff. But now a few little tests. I'm actually testing a Soyuz-style, like, retrograde rocket landing, as you can see here. Although this one was a little too powerful, so it actually just stayed in the air, then fell to the ground. But it was fine, and there are no Kerbals on board, so don't you worry yourselves about it. And the next test of the same sort of thing was, I think I lowered it down a bit just because it was in the air too long. That was a little too few, not enough fuel and a tiny bit too much thrust. So I decided to land it like this in the end. And this actually worked quite well. You can see the solid rocket motors work almost till the ground. Well, keep firing almost until I'm on the ground. But yeah, I just like that idea for making it easier to land like extra payload, because I can just like throttle up the boosters rather than putting on more parachutes. It's just like a way of soft landing easily. But anyway, we have another grasshopper test. Yeah, I'm planning on different ways of bringing slightly more payload back, so I can get a little more money from, like, when I bring back pods. Maybe I can bring back a service module, and instead of having to put on more parachutes, I can just throttle up those like solid rocket boosters that I was just testing, and it will mean I can land slightly heavier payloads. It's just a way of soft landing slightly better. If that makes any sense, I'm not sure that it does. But anyway, this is another grasshopper test. I've done one of these recently, but this is actually going to a higher altitude. Yeah, it starts to shake around because I'm using MechJeb to like do the flight, and I wanted to, you know, keep it level and stuff. But MechJeb's doing a pretty bad job of flying at this point. It's kind of falling all over the place. You can see it's not keeping it stable at all. And I do actually have the ability to punch out of this because I have the other 4 engines which still can fire up. Because I like the idea of landing on one engine, because this is basically just stealing SpaceX's ideas. But yeah, I have the ability to punch out. I'd basically hit off on the translatron and then punch like all 4 engines and fly into the ocean. But I don't. And you can see my flight test wasn't to like 500 meters or a kilometer or anything. It was to 420. If you look on surface info, my true altitude is 420. Although actually it's 421. But still, this was the 420 test. Because my barge I'd land on would be 420 Blazer. No, just read the instructions. But anyway, now it's time to descend a little bit, or hover for a while. I was trying to let MechJeb stabilize this, but it just couldn't seem to deal with it. I don't know what it was doing, but it just literally couldn't seem to grasp slowing it down. I mean, I know that's an incredibly hard thing to do. However, I decide that it'll probably land. That's always a good thing when you've got, like, 30 grand rocket stage heading at a, like, 500 grand launch pad. So yeah, I let it fall down bit by bit, just trying to go down reasonably slowly, but then I drop it kind of fast so I don't run out of fuel. Yeah, but you can see it's pretty unstable, so a logical person at this point would have punched out, but I was too damn committed, so I let it keep descending, and I do slow it down and things, obviously. I'm not stupid, I'm gonna land it properly, but MechJeb's just flipping around too much for it to land well, and you can see it's just gonna land on one leg and then probably fall over or be unstable. And when it's something this tall and this heavy, yeah, it's not a good thing. I should have just punched out. I really wish I'd punched out. I really wish I'd hit all 5 engines, flown into the ocean. But this is the point of no return now. I mean, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm like basically out of fuel. And now I'm going way too slow. Well, I've slowed myself down to like as slow as possible so that I try and land reasonably well. But you can see I'm still flying around. And I still could have punched out a bit, but I didn't. I was too stubborn, and now I'm falling slowly, and if I wasn't flying around everywhere all jittery and being screwed by MechJeb, everything would have been good. It would have been a great landing, but yeah, instead I let it just keep trying to land while it's going left and right and forward and backwards, and you can see it's kind of going up and down because MechJeb just can't handle it. So yeah, this was a pretty foolish move, as you're about to see. I touched down too hard, touched down again way too hard, and there's a small explosion, and I lose the rocket, and I lose the launch pad, and that was very stupid of me. And in future I'll not be doing these tests on the launch pad because it's very expensive. As you can see here, after paying for the whole rocket, which was about 30 grand, I also have to pay for the launch pad, which is like 48 grand. So yeah, that was a stupid test, but I didn't really know what happened there with MechJeb. Maybe I should have taken over. I definitely should have taken over, or at least punched out. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed this. Yeah, I hope you'll come back for the next episode. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.